Of the silenced voice of Doris Ochieng, who is a human rights defender, of course, an activist, and you can see exactly what has been happening to her. And, looking at this particular ordeal, it just takes us back to what exactly the state of affairs is in the country when it comes to human rights, when it comes to activism, when it comes to activists. And tonight, People's Liberation Party leader Martha Karua is going to be speaking to us on her recent deportation from Tanzania, as well as the place of activism in the East African region and beyond. She's going to be joining us right now. I'm not sure if she can hear me. A very good evening to you, Martha.
I can hear you.
How are you?
I can hear you loud and clear. Good evening.
Good evening to you. You're looking great. And the first question that I'm actually going to ask you tonight is, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. But in spirit, I'm not well. Having seen Bonnie this evening, seen how much pain he's in, heard from him of how badly tortured he was, it's a shame that the regime next door in Tanzania, led by Mama Suluhu, can be so brutal and torture people for no reason at all. And I'm worried also because our Ugandan colleague, Agatha Atuhaire, has not been found up to now. And Tanzanian authorities have not taken responsibility for her whereabouts. If Bonnie was so badly tortured, what about Agatha? May the Tanzanian authorities release Agatha to her family so that we may know in what state she is in, and if she requires medical attention like Bonnie, she may start to get it.
Now, Martha, you were recently deported from Tanzania. Maybe you can take us through your ordeal and exactly what happened.
So we arrived at Julius Nyerere International Airport in Dar es Salaam about 9 o'clock on Sunday. And on presenting myself to the immigration officer, he asked me, why am I entering the country? And I told him I'm a guest of the East African Law Society. He asked me for an invitation letter, and I told him I didn't need one. As a citizen of East Africa and as a member of the East Africa Law Society, I did not need a formal invitation to their office, but I'm going to their offices to meet them. At that stage, he took my passport, walked out of the compartment where he was doing his duty, and told me to hold on. He's going to see his supervisor. And later on, the supervisor comes and tells me to go and sit down at a bench that is at the back, away from the queue. Within minutes, I see my friend Lynn Goge and Gloria Kemani, a council member of the Law Society of Kenya, also brought, and they told me they had gone through the same questioning. After about an hour, the supervisor comes and says, orders from above. Sorry, we shall not be let in. We asked why. She said she's too junior to have any answer. It's orders from above. We left it at that. We stayed under guard by one officer for 3 hours. And then we asked to be taken to a cafeteria where we could buy water or tea, because they did not offer us water or tea. And eventually we were taken to the KFC on the first floor of the airport, where we bought ourselves something to drink and eat. We spent another 3 hours downstairs at the immigration area. At one stage, they took us to take our luggage from the baggage area back to immigration. The luggage was locked in the holding cells for females but we were not put in cells. We remained on the seats in the holding area without handcuffs, but no mistake about it, we were under arrest. We were not free to do anything or to move about without the officer. And then we were asked to pay for our change of itinerary on our tickets so that we could be deported with the next available Kenya Airways. When we disputed that, eventually they came back to us and said that Ministry of Foreign Affairs had paid. They didn't specify whether Kenya or Uganda. But at that time, 10 minutes before then, the Kenyan ambassador to Tanzania had called me through the phone of the Kenya Airways desk officer and had said they were trying to do their best. But within a few minutes, we were told our tickets were ready, we go outside for boarding. That's the long and short. So no explanation whatsoever why we were detained and why we were being sent back. Our passports remained with the officers, immigration officers, until we boarded and were given the passports at the boarding gate, bearing the marks, entry denied.